with my chat from the other day. I was talking about positive thinking and rising above and being able to embrace the pain so that you can be able to move forward. And I mentioned that I'm going to be sharing a few tips that I use that have helped me rise above all the noise, all the pain, all the trauma, and just be the best version of myself that I can be, a version that I love, a version that makes me happy. We're getting selfish here. And I was thinking, I was just in my space yesterday, and I wanted a message from God. I wanted a message that would help somebody today heal. And so he told me to open Isaiah chapter 6 from verse 4 to verse 6. The doorframe shook at the sound of their shouting, and the house was filled with smoke. I said, mourn for me, I'm ruined. I'm a man with unclean lips, and I live among a people with unclean lips. Yet I've seen the King, the Lord of heavenly forces. Then one of the winged creatures flew to me, angel, holding a glowing coal that he had taken from the altar with tongues. I'm going to continue to chapter 7 that says, he touched my mouth and said, see, this has touched your lips. Your guilt has departed and your sin is removed. Some of us live in guilt over things that are not even supposed to be part of our lives, right? And we keep carrying pain, carrying frustration, carrying guilt, carrying burdens that make us feel unclean and not worthy of blessings, not worthy of abundance, not worthy of feeling good. And it's time for us to let that go because it's already done. This is actually in Old Testament, and in the New Testament, it says, Jesus says that just by shedding his blood, we are cleansed of every sin, of feeling guilty that you did not make that choice that time. And that's why maybe you're thinking, oh, that's why my life is terrible right now. No, you did not make that choice that time because making that choice made you feel and the moment you feel like that, it's the wrong choice. There is no way your heart can lead you into doing something that is not wholly about you. Yeah. And so it's time for us to get over the shame, the guilt, the blaming game, the traumas, carrying all these burdens that are not part of us. And so how do you do it? Positive thinking. It's as simple as that. Oh yeah, it's hard. I can honestly say starting positive thinking can be a journey, and it can really, if you're not patient, you can get over being a positive thinker, because this is where you remember, I mean, if you're my age, growing up in class, the teacher will be like, stop daydreaming. What is daydreaming? It's just sitting in your brain and just building this amazing castle, this beautiful life that you've always wanted, and sitting in it. Guess what? That is one of the ways that you're going to start building castles in the air. Because once you sit and daydream into that thing that makes you happy, into that place that you want to go, if you keep doing it, the more you do it, the more your entire body wants to achieve that. And so once you're completely aligned and you keep thinking about this thing that makes you happy, this future that you want, and remember, you cannot go into that space feeling empty or feeling lost. Yeah? And when you sit in that good space, 5 minutes today, 5 minutes later in the evening, 5 minutes later in the afternoon, just keep doing it as much as you can. You're gonna find that in a few days, it's not even going to be as hard, just feeling good, because that is one of the ways that we have lost touch of who we really are. We have lost touch of how it feels to smile and how it feels to be happy and how it feels to just marvel in yourself, no matter what you're going through, being able to separate the two. Yeah. And so let us get to a place where we're able to just rise above and embracing the pain, I'm going through this. How am I going to get over it? Step aside and think about yourself very selfishly. How does the situation make you feel? And then once you're in that space, just get to understand, do you really want to stay in that space? But don't stay in that questioning session for a long time, because by the time you're coming to this space, you already know that you're not happy with it. You're not happy with the situation, you're not happy with this person, you're not happy with whatever it is. That's what leads you to that space of asking, how can I change it? And the minute you've got into there, you already know, so you don't have to go back to that. So let's concentrate on how we can change the burden, the pain, the feeling unworthy, the feeling, or maybe I do not deserve that, or maybe I cannot do that. That's not for me. That's for people who have degrees, and maybe you don't have a degree. No, everything on this world is meant for us. And as long as your mind says that it wants it, and your heart feels overwhelmed that it wants it, overwhelmed in a good way that it wants it, trust me, you're gonna get it. And the minute you sit down in that silence and know that this is how I want to change my life, then start daydreaming on how would you want it to be? How would it be? And as you're in that space, I want you to feel the emotion. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel it so real. And sit in that space for as long as you want. Sit in that space of daydreaming and feeling good and being happy about this life that you've created in your dream. Feel so good until you're ready to get out of that space. And when you keep doing it every single day, or as many times as you can in a day, you will notice that you will start to feel better. Because what we're trying to do here is get over the pain and attract abundance. Yeah? You cannot attract abundance when you're feeling like crap. If you're feeling like crap, guess what? More crap comes. And you wonder, why are all these bad things happening to me? Because you're already in that space. And because now being in that space is only attracting negative things. But the minute you shift that, shift it. And when you're shifting it, you have to remember who you are, who God says you are. He says you're magnificent. He says your sins are forgiven. He says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. He says He's created you in His own image. He says that you have the power to declare life and death. So why not declare death to the past that you don't like today, and declare life to the future that you're headed to? Declare life to the present, right? Because that's the first step towards learning how to embrace the most beautiful, most joyous, most peaceful place. And once you're in that space, there's nothing that you cannot manifest. Nothing whatsoever. So maybe we should start by already knowing which is already done. You already know what doesn't work. Then number 2, choose to feel better. Intentionally choose to feel better. Selfishly choose to feel better. Selfishly. And I'm going to repeat, selfishly choose to feel better. Don't feel better causing harm to somebody else. Just feel better within yourself. Meditation is one of the ways that has helped me. And I know some people will wonder, how do you meditate? How about you start by daydreaming? Let's do that first step first. Because the longer you can stay in that daydreaming state, once you get into meditation, it's going to get easier. Yeah, it's going to get so much fun that you can actually sit in meditation for an hour or 2 hours and still don't want to get out of there. The only reason I get up is because my ankles are hurting from the crossing on my legs, you know. And some of us go through prayer, and prayer is a magnificent way. God always should be number one. He should always be your number one. But guess what? You cannot hear God's voice if you're always praying. Let's get that very clear. God will never talk above you. God will never come and interrupt you. Once you pray, what about giving yourself that space of being just silent? Be as silent as possible and for as long as you can. That is what meditation is about. Because at that space now, God speaks to you because you have given him the silence. God, I am here, speak. And wait for as long as you can. You remember Jacob? When he was praying all night and he even fought with God and the angel of God, and he broke his hip because he kept saying, I'm not leaving here until you bless me. How about having that mentality? Once you get into this good space, and you start feeling good about yourself, you start feeling good about other people, because you cannot feel good about somebody else if you haven't already learned how to feel good about yourself. I know that is very clear, right? So once you know how to feel good about yourself, you can love your husband, you can love your wife, you can love that boyfriend, you can be this amazing mom that you want to be, you can be this amazing dad that you want to be, you can be this amazing friend or daughter or son, employee. Because once you love yourself, you know your value, you know what you don't want, you know what you want, and somehow sticking to what you want propels you into being the best version of yourself. And when you're the best version of yourself, you're happy. Everything is just flowing. How can you be sad? How can you be grumpy and not care about the person next door? You know, when you get into that happy space, you have empathy, you have compassion, you have love for a stranger. You find people on the street and you're smiling and saying hi, and you're wondering, why isn't everybody as happy as me? Because you found it. You found it, and most people don't know how to find it. If you're having trouble in your marriage, I'm not telling you to walk away from your marriage because it doesn't work. No, I'm telling you to change you. Feel happy in your skin. Love yourself unconditionally. Choose to feel good. Choose to not judge. Because hard as it may be to hear, we fight with our partners because we're judging them. And by the time you're judging them, you're judging you. You already feel, oh, this is not working because I did this, or if I had done this. And so when this person does this thing that you think that you should not have done, you feel like they're the reason, they're the ones dragging you down. But no, it's all about in here. Once you change who you are 100%, be happy in your skin, know what you want. Guess what? You've already created your own dome of positive law of attraction. Your partner will automatically start flowing in your direction, and especially if you stick to it, because positive attraction will always be stronger if you're doing it every day. And so it's good to always concentrate on just being the best versions of us, being the best version of me, and letting people see who you are and letting them transform to who you are. And you know, the funniest thing is that once you're in that space, somehow your grounding always brings the people who feel the same way as you in your way. And as you're changing and becoming this happy person, instead of being this grumpy, angry person, always telling your spouse what they're doing wrong, and you just calm down and sit in your space for as long as you can, today, tomorrow, 1 week, 1 month, and say, I'm not gonna. It's me. It's all about me. It's all about feeling good. It's all about transforming me. It's all about changing me. And once you get into that happy space where you're glowing and you're happy about your life, guess what? You'll not be able to bring that marriage down, even if you wanted to, because this other person, your partner, is gonna see how much good is coming into your life with you being just happy and at peace, and they're gonna want to match you. Yeah, more like a stick. If this is a stick and this is a negative side and this is a positive side, and you're right here, if you keep moving towards the positive side, or this is a balance, right? If you keep moving towards the positive side, the weight becomes heavier on the positive side. But if you keep thinking negative thoughts, the negative keeps getting heavier. So it's up to you to decide if you're in the middle of this tick, confused, matching on the same space, wondering why isn't anything happening to me? It starts and then it comes back. It's because the minute you start thinking positive things, you also allow negative things to come into your head. And so your brain is wondering, where do you want to be? If you're sticking to the positive side, stick to it, stick to it. If you're not feeling good, go sleep. Wake up and wake up into that space. And you can start that by giving gratitude. If you give gratitude every day, every single day, every single minute you feel like crap, sit down and think of all the good things that have happened in your life. And some people will say, nothing good has happened in my life. Oh, while you're breathing, how much work did you have to do for you to breathe while you were sleeping? How tired are you from trying so hard to breathe through the night? That's something that God did for you for free, for nothing. You've woken up today, you're healthy. That is number one, gratitude. Think about all these people who are trying to breathe with oxygen pipes in their noses and in their throats and or wherever, and they still can't breathe. And you don't even have to think about it. I'm not even thinking about it right now. You're just breathing. And you think it's automatic? Yes, it's automatic because He said so. So how about giving gratitude just for that? And if He says, oh, I'm shutting that down, oh, you're shut down. So how about just giving thanks for that? And sticking to that and just giving thanks and revolving around all those people who would just want to have just that one easy breath without feeling like they have to. Take that as your only gratitude and fuel it and fuel it and fuel it and fuel it and see your dome of positiveness just growing. Yeah? Let's stick to the positive. Let's just stick to that, because that's where it begins. When you're happy all the time, you get to learn to love yourself. You get to learn to love your absolute everything about you, because now you start to see who you are. Now you start to keep notice of what you are and what you want and what you don't want and where you want to head and what you want to do and all the creative things that you want to do, you know? So why not stick to that? And when you start doing that, your dome is going to overflow. And that's where abundance starts. So let's keep asking God for guidance. Let's keep praying. Let's keep meditating. And with time, I'm also going to teach you some breath techniques that really help to calm down, because sometimes you really want to get into that good space. You really do. But it's not possible. Some of the things I do, I sing, I dance. Ain't nobody loves me better. You know, and that time I'm singing to myself. Nobody can love me better than I love myself. You know, sing to yourself. Listen to love music and let that love music be for you. Why not? You don't have to always sing a love song to somebody else when you don't even know who you are and how to love yourself. Because once you love yourself, that is the reason God says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Why doesn't He say, love yourself as you love your neighbor? Because until you know what absolute self-love is, what absolute self-love is, you will never know how to love the next person. And this is where we start. Thank you for watching. If you like, subscribe, like the video, comment, ask any questions, and more of this is going to be coming. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be doing this. All the best. I'll build a boat, so let it rain.